Yes, here we go.
Mm,
Fresh in on the conversation. We were talking about movie trailers, but anyway, let's get to episode 187. It,
hmm
it just so happens that we have four movies to take a look at today, and I just it reminded you and me, or me, and then I reminded you about at the movies, Siskel and Ebert, because they would just like sit, and I think they would do three movies and they would just kind of break it down. So today we're going to do four movies and we'll just kind of give like our 10. I don't want to do spoilers, right? Do you want to do spoilers? I kind of know,
no, no.
right?
I always try not to,
Yeah. Because then it
if
just
I
like,
can.
yeah, for sure. So we'll go, maybe we'll mention other movies that the people have been in and stuff like that. So we could dance around that. So
hmm
yeah, we'll just have like a 10-15 minute discussion on each film. Because the middle of the year, luckily pulled in some cool stuff, unlike the beginning, which was like total slim pickings.
Yeah, man. I was
Uh, I,
waiting
I
for
I
something.
love I love that you and I both have Snack Shack.
Yeah, there's that no question when I was watching. That's my favorite thing I've seen
How
this year.
good was that? Right? Wasn't that so good?
I'm so hopeful to this guy. I can't remember the name, the director and writer, but man,
Rheinmeyer, maybe something Rheinmeyer.
I love how he's coming out the gate right now. I'm like looking forward to see what
Yeah,
else he does.
Dinner in America and Snack Shack, like like you're like whoa, and it's
Yeah.
so like under the radar.
Yes.
Like the guy has
Yeah.
like 600 followers on like fucking Twitter. You're just like, how? How is no one tapped? Because he really, two very different movies, but like both great soundtracks. And this really felt like Snack Shack is definitely not one of the movies we're going to talk about, but all
Mhm.
right, we'll just save that. We'll save that.
Yeah. I'm sure
Let's,
we'll be talking that
yeah.
later on, wrapping up the year. Yep.
Today we're going to do A Quiet Place Day One, right?
hmm
We're gonna do Maxine. We're gonna
hmm
do Long Legs, and what the fuck was the fourth one?
Abigail.
Abigail. Okay, let's start off with
Yeah.
Abigail, right? So Abigail came out in the beginning of the year, I think.
Yeah. I only seen it recently, but when did you see
I
it?
saw. I so we went to. Oh no, okay. So Rob Link had a horror hang, maybe in April, right? Does that make sense? I don't know. He had a horror hang sometime in the beginning of the year, and that's usually when we go get together at somebody's house and we watch like one or two movies. So we watched Abigail, which I was kind of reluctant to, okay, but everyone kind of just wanted to, and it was Rob's house and he picked it. And yeah, so the cast was really cool. I remember seeing the trailer. So it's the fuck. What's that production company called? Radio Silence. So Radio Silence that did Ready or Not, the last two Scream movies. They make this
hmm
movie, and you see the trailer, and it's obviously like these crooks that get brought to this house to do something, and when they realize that they are just being lured there because the little girl is a vampire, which all these things you could see from the trailer. So yeah, I don't know. You watched it on Peacock, I guess, right?
No, I saw the Blu-ray actually. Got it at my library.
Oh,
I have all the new releases in there. As soon as they hit in the shelves, I get an email. I go pick it up. So I watched the Blu-ray. But yeah, I didn't love it. I don't know how if you what your feelings were on it, but
I
like
I by the end I liked it because the bar my bar was just low for it.
yeah, it was slim pickings at the beginning of the year. I get, but like this, I thought it did it a disservice knowing that there was the vampire thing
Yeah,
beforehand.
yep.
If they like drop that on you when when it's being dropped on the criminals that they're finding it out, that would have like hit way harder. Um, there was some good gore in it, some good kills. I'll give it that, but I thought the acting of the crew, they were like atrocious. I thought they were terrible, like
Yo,
acting. Like one guy hamming it up, the other girl's just a blank slate. Shit.
So
I know it felt like just regular Bloomhouse fare. I was actually surprised. I didn't know that that crew that did Ready or Not did this because I love
yes.
that film.
So right off the bat, the cast, right? So you get Angus Cloud, who basically, R.I.P. to him. I love him in Euphoria, but he plays one cat. He's like he would have been the new Vince Vaughn. He would have been Angus Cloud in every movie. So he,
Hmm.
Fez from Euphoria, a show you probably
Man, he
still
seemed
haven't
like
watched,
he.
right?
I have not seen it now, but he looked
Uh,
like he was like fucked up, man.
yeah.
This
Well,
movie. I don't know
they,
if he's acting.
I think he killed himself.
I thought he drug overdose.
Well,
No,
maybe that's what it was. Okay.
but
Uh, you have Melissa Barrera from the Scream movies, which makes sense. So they probably filmed this
hmm.
before they had their falling out. You have Lisa
We're
Frankenstein
falling
herself.
out.
Oh, she was posting. So remember why they got rid of her for Scream? She was like posting like pro-Palestine stuff, and it was kind of like a
Oh, I
little,
missed that story.
yeah, it was a little too controversial at the time. Whatever she was posting, kind of like like basically anti-war stuff. And
Right.
the creators of Scream, or the two, the team behind the last two movies, were just kind of like asking her to like delete certain things, and she said no. Then they were like, all right, we got to figure out what to do, something like that. I roughly like that. I'm sure you could Google whatever they both
Man,
said. Yeah,
who the
right.
fuck's got to tweet that bad that they're gonna fuck up their whole gig? What the fuck, man, is with people?
Young kids, man, young
You ain't
kids.
gonna change the world with your stupid ass tweet, but you're gonna get fired, maybe.
Oh wait, am I saying she's 34? She's not even that young, so maybe
It's a
she was
kid
just
to
like
me.
whatever. Abigail was played by Alicia
Yeah.
Weir. So what has she done?
Hmm.
Nothing really. Matilda. Matilda. But then
Yeah. I've heard that name.
Catherine Newton, who is Lisa Frankenstein. I don't know if you saw that yet.
Yeah. Did. Didn't love it.
Okay, you didn't like it. Kevin Durand, which was a guy I forgot about him, and then like somebody mentioned it when we were watching the movie that he was one of the dudes in Smoking Aces, like the roided out guys, and
Oh shit.
he's done
He
a
was
lot.
he was on that show Vikings. I saw that. But man, like if they make the Elon Musk story, that's the fucking guy.
That yo, so much so, yeah, that's a good call.
Holy shit.
The Elon Musk, and then Dan Stevens that was in The Guest,
Hmm. Great movie.
and a bunch of other shit. And then the last two here, you have Matthew Good, who I don't know if you remember him, but he played that movie producer in The Offer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
That's
he,
right. Okay.
and then of
Oh,
course
Robert Evans.
Robert
He
Evans. Yeah,
played him.
he
All
played
right.
Robert Evans, and then of course Giancarlo Esposito, man, fucking
Yeah,
making his
man.
rounds because he'll be in Maxine when we talk about it.
He's the
Um,
man.
I thought it was a great cast. My bar was like super low. The performances were whatever, to be honest with you. Like you said, cartoonish, but the movie was so cartoonish to begin with that I didn't really mind it.
I think
Um,
it was the characters are so uninteresting, and yet they still would have these moments where they were giving them way too much exposition and dialogue on where they were coming from or backstory that you really is not important. I
yeah.
think it kind of like dragged it to a standstill at certain points. But
What about the usage of the song "Blood and Tears" though? That was a highlight,
yes, I give you
right?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not
All right.
every day you hear "Blood and Tears" in a song. You're like, wow, fits perfectly.
Yeah.
But overall, like by the end, I liked it because it was just like a fun movie. Um, I you could just put it on in the background and pay attention when the cool parts are on. But
Hmm.
other than that, it was like it could have been way better. But in a Slim Pickens year, maybe that's what it is. In a Slim Pickens year, it's something noteworthy. But overall, I guess I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm
What
a thumbs down, I think. we're gonna go thumbs, right? We're gonna do the
Yeah, why
whole
not?
Siskel and Ebert right now.
Yeah, yeah, right. Shout out to Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, we got to get heated and argue about something like,
We'll figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. No, I probably. I mean, listen, I've seen worse, and I get what you're saying. I'm trying to look exactly what month this came out, but oh, in April. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
that was lean. That was lean times for there hadn't been much horror except Late Night with the Devil, really, right?
that was
That
it.
was
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But okay, yeah. I mean, a
All
fun
right.
movie, a fun popcorn movie. Probably would have been better in theaters, to be honest with you. Like it would have just been, would have had that vibe. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, I liked it. So, moving on to the second movie, let's do A Quiet Place, Day One. You just recently saw it, so tell me what you.
Yeah, just this last week.
Yeah,
First of all, man, tough. I went to the Island 16 over here, the multiplex that's playing all the movies like way too loud. So I'm sitting there in the quiet place, hearing the Backstreet Boys playing on some like probably Trolls Part 6 fucking movie next to
yeah.
it. So this movie's all set with like quiet parts in it. And just was hearing the Backstreet Boys during the whole shit.
So you're right, because that does happen, especially with a movie like this and Long Legs too, which we'll talk about. I'm like,
Mm,
or a violent nature was another word where I'm like sitting there. I'm like,
yeah.
I just want to eat my popcorn, and I'm like chewing slowly and quietly, where
I
I'm
do
just
that shit
like,
all the time, man.
oh, like I'm like, like okay, it's so loud in my ear when you're chewing popcorn,
And
right?
I
I'm
know.
just
I feel
like,
like
oh my,
everybody hears me.
everyone in this theater hears me. But
But
what is
yes,
your
anyway, but I
yeah,
went,
your
yeah,
relationship with the franchise? Do you have any relationship with it?
I had no expectations when I saw the first one or two, but I loved them. I thought they were really solid and consistent, like the franchise so far. I thought they were two solid entries. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, like I liked it. Like I probably wouldn't have seen any of these
Hmm.
if my girlfriend wasn't such a Office fan.
Mm.
So when it came out, it was like an interesting kind of like, everything is like a shtick, So it's like, all right, you have to be quiet in this. Oh, you can't say anything. All right, cool, whatever.
Right.
Same thing with like Arcadian just recently with Nick Cage. It was just like you have to be quiet, otherwise they hear you. Um, so the first one was fine. Second one, I don't even remember the second one. I remember they were on a train, the kids were
It's
older.
more of the same.
Yeah, right. So it was just kind of like whatever. So when she's like, she saw the trailer somewhere on Instagram and she saw that a cat had a really prominent role in the movie. So she's like, I want to see this movie because of the cat. And I was like, for me, it's like, okay, I don't really care. I would not have gone to see it whatsoever. But I
Hmm.
enjoyed the first two movies enough where I'm like, I could just eat popcorn and just sit there.
Sure.
Um, and right away, oh, a funny thing that happened during the movie too, like the movie started playing and I don't remember this ever happening, but it was out of sync. Like the
Oh,
like the voices were out of sync with the
right.
film, and
Mm.
like they let it go for like 7 minutes, and somebody's like, I got to me like I would have just sat there and watched it. I don't even care.
It drove me nuts.
Yeah, so then somebody went, they're like, hey, we have to restart it, but it takes like 10 minutes. Is that cool? Is everyone like, yeah, no worries. So then it starts off, and then I noticed like Lupita, right? Lupita, I forgot her name, Nyong'o. So
Right.
she's killer, man. I'm a big fan
Yes.
of her. She was in Us. She was in a movie called Little Monsters, and just immediately, like super. I don't know. She's good. She's just a good actress. Gorgeous
Yep.
girl. Um, and she's in Manhattan. So already I like
Hmm.
it. I feel like okay, like this is gonna be in Manhattan. Yeah, they were like kind of outside the city, and you notice kind of like right away that she's in some medical facility, right? So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Like right away, it's kind of like a heavy thing. And I'll tell you this. So the director also made the movie Pig, which I've never seen with Nicolas Cage, but
Me neither.
people seem to love it. They always talk
Love it.
super highly of it, right?
Yes,
And the direction in this movie really hit me in two spots where it kind of like transcended just like a monster, creature feature movie. Two spots. One was when they were doing the very beginning, like when they went into the city to see like the puppet show. No, no, like a ventriloquist or something,
yeah, yeah, some
like
shit like that.
some like Geppetto type shit. And like the music that he used and the imagery in her face, yo, it just kind of like if like a scene could make you feel emotion, but you don't really know why. He
Sure.
really he really did a good job there. And then later on, when her and the other main character are like trying to be silent at the bar and he's like doing his routine, they're eating pizza, you know what I mean? Really cool, like just like kind of like above and beyond what you're expecting, like this movie to be. And I didn't even mind. So like there's like a lot of like groundwork being laid, and then within like maybe like 15 minutes then the movie really kicks off, and it just turns into like this crazy, like it's like Predator 2, like it's just like aliens, like when you see them like crawling through New York City, they kind of look like insects. And it was like a
Hmm.
really cool shot when the bomb goes off. Like immediately it just caught me, and I'm like, you're in for the ride. And it kind of never really lets up. It just keeps going and going. And then there is a cat that's involved. And like later on, she meets the kid from Stranger Things, right? Joseph
Hmm.
Quinn, the kid that plays like the metal guy. And
Oh shit, that's who that was.
yeah, I
Now I
didn't.
see it. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I
I
thought I
had.
knew that guy from
But
somewhere.
also another guy that I love is Jimon. I'm not gonna pronounce his name right, but like the African dude who was in Blood Diamond. He's in Gladiator.
Yeah, yeah.
He was in this really cool movie called In America, which I really liked. Um, but he had a bit role here. It's really just the two characters, really. The movie is just like these two main characters,
In
and then
America, that's the one with the Irish
yeah,
family.
yeah. In
Yeah,
America
that
was
was fantastic.
that was
I
fucking
forgot
great.
about that movie. Yeah,
Mateo, he played
yes,
Mateo.
good shit.
Yeah, very good stuff. And anyway, yeah. So this movie became my favorite of the three. I don't know what the fuck happened, but everything that this movie tried, it fucking worked. Like I was just like like I was all about it. Like the action scenes were great, the dramatic scenes were great, the relationship was great, her backstory that you see a lot of, uh, and then the fucking end, like everything about it really worked, and it's kind of like a sad story, right?
Hmm.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
I thought it was okay. I wasn't all about it. There was a lot of things I did like about it, like you had mentioned a lot of them, but I did not. What's some of my main complaints? I guess like there's a little bit. I mean, it's nitpicking, but like there'd be times where she's gonna open like a cat food container. She's doing it like all slow. And then she's walking through rubble on the city streets. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers would hear her, like no doubt. Now I know that's a nitpicky little thing or whatever, but and I was hoping for a little more because we this is the origin of what happened in this a Quiet Place universe that later on we
we
get the
we
John
we
Krasinski story.
we didn't
We
get it,
don't
yeah.
Yeah, you didn't. I was hoping to learn more about what these things were. I
Yeah,
know they're aliens or whatever, but a little more about that. I thought it
sure.
kind of dropped the ball on that aspect of it. But it was a fun popcorn movie. I'll give you that. There was just some things that I don't know like that I just wish they did more of instead of just having her quest for pizza across, in Harlem. But
Yeah, I think there's a like, you could only do so much, and I think it just told like a really cool snapshot into the story. Plus, a cat that could hold its breath underwater is definitely a big thing. So,
listen, by all means, the cat was A plus plus. I love the cat. The cat
yeah,
was fucking awesome.
Academy
After I
Academy
was pretty
Award.
confident, like they better not hurt this motherfucking cat. They better not hurt this
Yeah.
fucking cat.
Uh yeah, it
It's the
just
second best performance by an animal I've seen since that dog in that fucking courtroom French movie or whatever the fuck last year. I
yeah.
can't remember the name of it. That dog was the shit.
Well, the pig in the movie that he made with Nicolas Cage, and now a cat in this one. So it's
Yeah.
what is this guy gonna pick next? Who knows? But
Yeah, why was that guy underwater too? He
oh,
just
I don't
came up out
know.
of that water.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, I have no clue.
What the
But
fuck's up
like
with this motherfucker?
the scope of it all, I
Hmm.
really like the alien scenes. Like when they're basically just infesting this city. And
Hmm.
when they moved, it just looked really cool, man. I don't know. Like it really felt like
Yeah.
Aliens 2 to me. And I don't know. I really just bought into everything. We left there thinking like that was my favorite of the three. You wouldn't say it's your favorite of the three then.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
Probably the first one is my favorite still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
Speaking, you
suck.
just mentioned aliens real quick. Did you see?
You're
You see?
I was gonna say you're a sucker for white people, that's why.
Yeah, that's what it was, man. You know, when it comes down to it, Sam,
That's what it is. Emily
you saw
Blunt,
the
I get
alien
it.
trailers. What do you think of those? You just mentioned Alien real quick. What do you?
Yeah, I'm all in. Anything, so
Me too, man.
Fetty Alvarez. I tried not to watch the whole trailer.
Yeah,
I think I watched half of it, like when the alien's knocking on like that chick's body or something. I don't even know. Maybe she's like an android, I have no idea. Because it's like
yeah,
knocking. Yeah, I mean, what's not to fucking love? It looks fucking fantastic. And
I know.
he made, the best Evil Dead fucking movie over the last X amount of years. And
Sure,
Don't Breathe, I thought was fucking fantastic. A
loved
lot
it.
a lot of people don't mention the sequel. I thought the sequel was pretty good. I don't know if you saw
I
it.
like that too. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was
right?
great.
Yeah, it kind
Sure.
of like switched gears a little bit, like, made him like more of like the hero.
Hmm.
Uh, so I thought that was good. But all right, yeah. I mean, me personally, I give A Quiet Place a big thumbs up.
Did they do the half thumb? I
Sure,
don't
why not?
remember.
You want
They
to
did
do
sometimes, didn't
it?
they?
Yeah, why not?
I
We can
got
do
my
whatever we
my.
want.
That's true.
I remember Hustler used to like do Hustler magazine used to do like
Beaver Hunt.
porn no, they used to do porn reviews. So you had limp dick to like kind of like quarter limp to half limp to full boner. So you're going
That
half
shit's got.
you're going half boat.
That that would be a funny read. I have to look up some of those. That must be hilarious.
Oh, I gotta send it to you. It's really good. Like they would like review these movies,
Yeah.
and that was the rating system was like, fully erect or something. So
I mean, what
you're
else
half
could they
erect,
do?
right? For this movie is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So moving right along,
Half mast.
we have two movies left, right? So let's do Maxine
Yep.
because Long Legs I feel like
Okay.
is a little bit more meat. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of people, what I love about this Ty West trilogy is everyone has their own specific order. Like if you told me
Yeah.
X is your favorite and Maxine's your least favorite, or Pearl or whatever, like everyone has their own order, which is cool because everyone's just digesting these movies the same in a different way. And I heard a lot of talking before I watched it. That's why I needed to go see it right away. They're like, oh, like I wanted something different from Maxine. I wanted more. I wanted this. I wanted that. Blah blah blah. So I was like,
Uh,
I already went in thinking like maybe it's not going to be as good as the other movies. And I went to go see it with Anthony, aka the Watch, and Vito was in the house too, and Malama was in the house. And as soon as the movie starts, I'm like, okay, cool, audition, and then the song starts and everything about it, and the guys felt the same way. We're watching this movie, and the whole time I'm watching it, I'm waiting for it to suck. And for me personally, it never did. And I think it's my favorite of the three I would go Maxine, Pearl, X, but
Hmm.
I think all three movies are really good. So
Yeah, I mean, like this trilogy is one of the best in horror movie history. It's
solid.
right up there now, you know. It's there's three solid entries. I mean, you can't even make. I don't see, you know, some people might like one more than others and stuff, but really, there's not a bad one in the bunch. And right now, I'd probably go Pearl Maxine X, but I really want to see Maxine again. I need to process it again. I need to watch that stat. But man, it just, you know, you hear the terms all the time, the love letter too. I know we get all that shit, but that 80s sleazy LA fucking angel, avenging angel kind of fucking gross vibe of this fucking movie. It's so palpable. They nailed the look, the 80s look, aesthetic, every piece about it. The music was outstanding. It's just a great time, man. I had no complaints.
Yeah. So the video store that her best friend worked at, um, the strippers that she worked with, the look of everything, and then you have to remember, like, she kind of just was a victim the whole time, because I guess sometimes in
Sure.
my brain I'm thinking like, oh, Pearl's a lunatic, but it's like, oh yeah, they're played by the same person, but they're not the same person. They're they're both played by Mia
Hmm.
Goth, but like Pearl was, a murderous lunatic, and Mia Goth, and like you have Maxine is just like this girl that
Survivor.
went to go shoot a movie and then ended up,
Hmm.
getting all her friends fucking died. So yeah, and it really carries on to how she does her thing in Maxine, and you get like the two people in particular, of course, Kevin Bacon, like, was fucking
Yeah.
fantastic in this. He played it over the top, but so did Giancarlo
So over the
Esposito.
top. I was like, man, that thick Louisiana accent was a bold choice. Like what?
Yeah,
But then I got used to it, man.
yeah, and Giancarlo Esposito with that bad wig, like they kind of played into like the insanity of it.
Oh, I loved him.
And yo, one scene in particular, you know what it is? Just the vibe of it, like the vibe of it too. When she's doing the mold of her face, like for the movie,
Hmm.
even that scene was cool because the direction, like they made this mold look kind of creepy on purpose, but by mistake. So you're watching it, and then the whole vibe of that scene and everything she's thinking of, she's like left alone with her thoughts. Just little things like that. I feel like Ty West really killed it on that. And just the Hollywood aspect of it, the backlot
Hmm.
stuff, like the psycho stuff, like everything about that was just this, like a horror version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm happy for Ty West because I always like Ty West. But then for a while there, you were like, oh, is this? You know, I know the Innkeepers a lot. I like the Innkeepers a lot. First time I saw it, watched it again, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe everyone was right because a lot of people didn't care for it.
I like The
And
Sacrament.
the Sacrament. Is
That
oh
that was
yeah, is that the one with John Goodman?
No, 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 no. You're
Yeah,
thinking of something different. The Sacrament was the Jim Jones story, right?
yeah. I don't think I like that one. I'm trying to
It was
remember.
just it was
No,
it.
not yeah. What am I thinking of?
Maybe you're thinking of Red
He looked
State.
like John Goodman,
Oh, maybe.
maybe, but yeah, yeah. No, I wasn't huge into that or whatever. Uh, but he was kind of just in a little bit of limbo there after starting so strong, House of the Devil and shit like that. But man, this three piece he put out here is great, and I hope him and Mia Goth work together a lot. I have a
Yeah.
feeling they got that kind of
So
thing going there.
it's kind of like Eli Roth, right? Like he's like that, where like you're like, okay, you get the deal. You're of this universe. Your DNA is about this world, but you've yet to make
Hmm.
something like, maybe he made Cabin Fever and you're like, oh, that's cool, but everything else has been kind of like whatever. So same thing, like, Ty West was like always doing stuff, and I was like, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. This is all right. But
Hmm.
man, X blew me away, probably because I was expecting absolutely nothing. I was like, oh, an R-rated movie, and then just you kind of like go follow the characters, and then you like Mia is just really, I mean, she's great in it, and
Yeah.
then you get thrown something like Pearl, where you're like, what the fuck am I watching right now? You're like, this is
Yeah.
like John Waters directing like, some fucking bizarre ass fucking movie. And I was like,
It's
yo,
incredible looking too.
but I get it. Like some people, I get it. It wasn't for everyone, but like it really worked. And then that monologue at the end, it's just like pure madness. And
Hmm.
then this other thing was just such another like tonal shift. But like the kills, like when the kills came through in Maxine, they were fucking fantastic. Um, and a lot, it felt
So
super
there was
giallo.
one that made me like really like I curled up in my seat for a
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
like
As
as a fella,
as as a man for sure. But
Holy
all
fuck.
but like the giallo vibe too, right? With the like the gloves and
Oh
like the
yeah.
yeah,
It was a giallo that I actually like enjoyed. That's
yeah,
what Maxine was, because I
yeah.
don't like those Italian giallos too much. But
But it was like
this was
the who done it, and then the
yes,
combination of like the Satanic Panic, the Night
yes,
Stalker, like all of it
sure.
was just like it just all the stars aligned, and I huge erected thumb for Maxine for me.
Yeah, I'm engorged for Maxine.
Yeah, for sure. They're thinking, or they kept saying, a fourth movie. Yo, and I look right. Even the end was great because I know the end kind of threw some people off with certain things. I'm like, yo, whatever. It felt fine. I love Bobby Carnivale. He was fucking
Yeah,
great in it. Um, and I
that
could
guy's in
see,
everything.
like a fourth movie. Why not kick it in,
Yeah, I
kick it,
mean, I could
kick,
see it.
kick it into 91 or something.
Yeah, unless he wasn't doesn't want to go to the well too many times. But
I get it.
yeah, but listen, I could live in this universe longer.
Yeah.
I'm all in favor if he just decides to. But yeah, big thumbs
Uh,
up.
the singer Halsey was in the movie. That was an interesting choice. I thought she was good. The tall director, she was good.
Yeah,
Was
by
in it?
far my favorite soundtrack of the year. The score was great. Some bangers. The
Yeah.
Animotion song, that medley, the Obsession, the
Yeah.
ZZ Top, Give Me All Your Lovin's a
Yeah.
badass sequence. Got some Rad in there, Mary Jane Girls,
We uh
Priest.
we loved it. We fucking loved it. So all right, so now we're gonna go to the last movie here that we're
Yeah.
gonna touch upon, and that is Long Legs, which I just saw. So
Mhm.
tell me your movie watching experience there with Long. What were you expecting? Because what I was expecting, what I got
Nothing.
were really, yeah. I got two
I
different things.
purposely didn't see it. I hadn't seen a trailer. I
They
knew
don't
there was
show
a Nick
much.
Cage movie coming out. I didn't read anything about it. I just knew it was out. It was a horror movie. I was going to go see it. And then would hear little things like Nick Cage, blah, 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 this and that. So I went in pretty blind.
The trailer shows nothing, like
Okay.
absolutely zero.
Yeah. I didn't know anything what it was going to be about, whether it was some supernatural thing, whether it was whatever. I had no fucking clue. And, as I was sitting through there, I kind of felt, I'm like, okay, all right, this is kind of like like a more violent Silence of the Lambs, kind of a little bit like vibe. Because when I'm sitting through it, I'm like, all right, usually a movie like this, I'm like, okay, when did this take place? This and that. I always figure out how what a movie time period is set in by like what kind of technology, what kind of phone they have. Or something. Like they don't have a cell phone or whatever, or can they text or whatever. So once I saw, okay, this is in that time period, it's earlier on, but it did remind me of a bit of Silence of the Lambs uh, with Nick Cage looking truly, truly upsetting. Very creepy.
great cold open though, right? Like,
Such a great open.
because it just gives you enough, and right away, like you could tell like the movie visually is gonna look
Mm.
interesting. So
Right, because
Oz,
it's got that small square. I don't
yeah.
know the exact ratio, but before it opens up like that, it's really giving you, yeah,
So Oz Perkins directed this one. Do you know who that is, right?
yeah. He did. What did he do? I was just looking it up before.
Black Coat's daughter,
Good movie.
and Gretel and Hansel, some shit like that. The other one, which I've never even seen, but he's also Anthony Perkins' son.
He did Secretary,
No,
or he was an actor in that. Oh, okay, he's an actor. I was like, holy shit, is it Anthony Perkins' son? Holy fuck,
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah,
idea.
yep.
New York, New York.
So like you watch this like cold open, and right away, like just the cinematography, the way it looks is just it almost felt like a dream, because then it goes into like Micah Monroe, at like some like FBI class or something, and you're like, what the like the first
Mm.
10 minutes was almost kind of confusing, because I feel like it jumped around. I felt like I was watching Vivarium for a minute or something, that movie.
Yeah,
I'm like, what I'm like, are they in a real town? I can't even tell. And she's great. So right, Micah
fantastic.
she's been killing it. Like, man, she did, obviously it follows. I guarantee she'll be in the next one. Watcher,
Hmm.
which I thought was cool. The Guest. I didn't know she was in Hot Summer Nights, which we love. God is a Bullet, which was really weird. Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
We think we chopped it
yeah,
up about that one time. Yeah,
yeah, because it was like 2.5 hours of like,
with
what?
Jamie Foxx in it, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what am I
Yeah,
like? But I don't know. I didn't hate it, but it was just a lot to like soak in. I'm like, I don't know what's going
yeah.
on. There's a lot going on here.
She's got a
Um,
good resume.
she does. Right. So she's this FBI agent, and right away you do. It's hard to really knock the Silence of the Lambs, because it's kind of what it feels like. And then you see Blair Underwood, like
Mm,
Blair Underwood. Like, where the fuck did they find Blair Underwood from? And he looks the same.
the same,
Like literally
exactly the
like
same.
30 years later, and you're like, how does Blair Underwood still look the fucking same?
Yeah,
You know?
he was great.
He was really good. And so they're, same thing. It's like the serial killer, and he has like a pattern, and they're trying to
Hmm.
solve it, and then they find like all this shit, and as the story unravels, um what did you think? Because I started off liking it, and then from there I was just like, I'm like, I guess this is okay. But by the end, so I really like the beginning, because I felt like the beginning was tense.
Hmm.
The middle was just kind of like okay on the pacing. It was the slowest. But then like the last 20, 30 minutes, I was like, wow. I'm like, the imagery, everything about it really delivered to the point where it gave me like, I'm like, okay, this was pretty cool.
I would agree with that timeline and
Yeah.
pacing of it and stuff. There's definitely a lot of it and how they uncovered it that I really want to see it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Put it together, like, oh, okay, that's how they came to that conclusion. There was a lot to unpack there for a minute. But yeah, the ending was absolutely fantastic. But man, this movie just looks so good to me. And it gave me that kind of creepy fucking vibe to it that I crave that I don't always get from horror movies because I've seen so many. But like I was saying in the group though, I'll take a movie like this
Oh yeah.
trying to
Yep.
really do something and
Yeah.
not like some Bloomhouse cut like and dry like an Abigail. That's what I felt like that. Like I'm okay, like this is just too neat and shit. But this is tapping into something like fucking creepier.
I agree. So, this movie, I said, if someone told me this was the best horror movie of the last 5 years, I would believe them just as easy if you told me that you hated every minute of this movie, because it's
Yeah.
methodical. It's
Hmm.
like slow but deliberate. The camera angles, right? Like
Hmm.
whenever you see these characters, like the camera's placed in like cool, like different angles.
Yes.
Um, and it's I don't know. I love that. I like that the creativity to that. But it is like a slow burn, especially once you get to the middle where you're like,
Hmm.
okay, there's like a lot of the story, and you're trying to figure out because it's almost like a surreal story, as you're watching it being told, where you're like, is
Hmm.
are we dreaming or what's going on here?
Right.
Because everything feels like disjointed. Like you see like fucking scenes of like Nicolas Cage, and then they go somewhere else, and then they go somewhere else. It's like this like montage of things, and you're like, what is connecting
Well,
everything
yeah,
here?
you're not sure because even though it's like an FBI chase or whatever, like this FBI agent has like a special power too, so it could be something supernatural at play, or like you were saying, you didn't know if you were in a dream or whatnot. So it walks that line really well. But yeah, it's one of the better. It's definitely in my top five of films I've seen this year. I'm not sure. It requires a second viewing though. Then I'll see where it sits.
Yeah, I was pretty satisfied with the end once you pull away from what it was.
Hmm.
And I think that's where it really differed from the comparisons. Just like X, to be honest with you, X is like everyone's like, oh, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then you watch it, you're like, maybe it starts off kind of that way, but not real. It doesn't go that way.
It's the '70s and it's an old dirty farmhouse, and
Yeah,
that's where it ends.
that's really where it ends. But like that, I think
Yeah,
that was the vibe for everyone going in. And I
right.
I say that as I'm looking at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have a board game for Texas
Nice.
Chainsaw Massacre board game
Really?
that I'm staring at as I talk to you. Happy 50th anniversary, whenever that is, probably soon. And then the
I got a
same thing.
little Texas Chainsaw Massacre throw blanket on my couch.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
a VHS box.
oh, that rules.
Yeah,
That's pretty
it's
cool.
very nice. It's very.
So yeah, I feel like it really kind of subverts, not to give too much away, but like where it starts and where it goes is very different, which is cool.
Yeah, no, it was a solid few weeks here. We had some good stuff. Is there anything you're
Upcoming.
looking forward to next, or not looking forward? I'll tell you what I'm not looking forward
I'm
to,
gonna
and I probably
let's
won't
let's say
see.
thumbs up, right? I'm gonna say thumbs up on long
Oh
legs.
yeah, thumbs up for sure.
So I four thumbs up from me. Which is
You're a good
funny,
guy.
because like so my friend Mark the other day was talking he was hanging out with a guy that we had on, Frank Sabatella, a long time ago. And he was
Hmm.
like, yo, he's like, you guys should do a YouTube channel because you love everything and he hates everything. And I was just like, I'm like, I do. And he's like, yeah, you like everything. I'm like, oh, maybe I do. Except for,
It's a good attitude.
except for the witch.
Yeah, right.
Uh, I want to see, I love that a violent nature. Did you watch that?
Yeah,
Did
loved
we
it.
talk about that?
I feel like we had to have, but maybe did we? Not?
Maybe
Maybe
not,
not.
right? Because the last episode was Joe Madry.
Yeah, maybe
And
not.
what the fuck? No, maybe we did. What was the one before it? No, then the Lollapalooza episode. Maybe not. Underappreciated hip hop songs.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah,
Okay.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean, it was
You saw it in
it was
theaters?
saw it in theaters. Another big swing, something different. Look, how many times have we seen the slasher in a fucking, the woods scenario?
Yeah.
Took a different flavor on it, different twist on it, and once I got into the vibe of it, of just hearing the footsteps and the twigs snapping under the feet and stuff, I kind of got into it, and I just and some really memorable kills in there.
Yeah, that this movie reminds me of this bit that Chris Rock would say. He was just like, he's like, yeah, you could drive with your feet. Doesn't mean it's a good idea, you know? And so I'm thinking
Yeah,
like, yeah, you could make a movie from a different angle and no one talks. But I'm
sure.
just I get it. I, I saw it in theaters by myself, and within the first 5 minutes, I was like, "Oh, okay, they're really going for this story. Like they're really
Hmm.
going. It's like, okay, we're staring at the dirt for like 5 minutes. Like they're really
Yeah.
going for it. So, the kills are cool. Yeah, listen, big swing. I'll probably watch it again. I love that it's getting a sequel, but just like Longlegs, if you told me that you would rather kill yourself than watch that movie again, like I get it. But if you loved it, then yeah, because it really reminds me of like a camera angle of like a Friday the 13th movie that just never got edited, never got
Hmm.
pre-production, never got post-production. And it's just like, here's this raw footage of this movie. But I will tell you what really put it over for me was the ending. I thought the ending was kind of brilliant.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I
I
dug
thought
that.
I thought that the tension of the ending really put it over because the whole time those last 10, 15 minutes you're like whoa,
Yeah,
you're like what the fuck is going on. So uh what do we have? Alien coming up, Beetlejuice.
Alien, looking forward to that. Beetlejuice, yep, absolutely. I am not looking forward to and will not see that Speak No Evil. That looks like the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
You saw
Uh
oh
the fact that I see the trailer every fucking time I go and it
you
looks
saw the
ridiculous.
original.
Yeah, and it was great. And then hearing the trailer, the kid's giving the fucking scissor on the tongue, the big reveal on this fucking thing that was creepy in that original. They're showing it to you in the trailer. It's like, what is this?
And it's such a good cast. It's such a
Yeah,
bummer.
I
It's
know.
such a bummer that it's like, why would you have a trailer giving away the whole fucking movie?
Yeah,
Why would
it's
you do that?
mind-boggling. I it, I don't
Like
know. And the
the
way
the reveal, like you're like showing the cutting of the. I just might as well show the stones at the end too. Why not?
even the way the kid fucking cuts his tongue with that shit. I hate that shit. I hate everything about it. When it's on, I'm like, I will never see this. There's no way I won't
I,
see it.
I
There's no way it
love
could be good.
no. I love McAvoy. I love the dude from Narcos.
Hmm.
Just a cool cast, but I feel bad that they just the trailer. Like, how did you fucking ruined it? You ruined the fucking movie.
It's
Every time,
amazing.
every time we sit, because it's the trail. They're really pushing it. It's a trailer for every movie I go see. Me and my
Hmm.
girlfriend look at each other like we're like, why are they giving the whole, like everything away? Oh, whatever.
They might
Uh,
just think everybody's just fucking dumb as shit or something.
yeah.
I don't know. But
They're
that's why
like,
I really try to avoid trailers, to be honest with you. It's only during whatever I see before a film where I'm just sitting there and I have to, but I don't go out of my way like looking for trailers and shit or watching them on YouTube. If I can read something, okay, he's in this, he did this. All right, I'm gonna be interested in this. I'll see what happens, you know?
so for me, like, you want to know how crazy I am? I won't. If we miss trailers, I won't go see a movie. So if the movie starts at 7:30 and
Yeah,
we don't get there at exactly 7:30 to watch every trailer, I don't go.
you walk away.
Yeah, I'll go to like
Just
the
get
next
in the
show.
car
I'll
and
I'll
go
I'll just
home.
I'll just go to the next showing. Like I have to watch. But now with and this was like my old school way of
I
thinking.
feel you.
This was my old school way of thinking
But
when
don't
it
you
was,
see the same movies every time now?
but that's what I'm saying.
Almost.
That was the old school
Yeah,
way of doing it because back then there was three trailers tops, and then
right.
the movie started right away. Now it's like eh, there's probably what 25 minutes before a movie even fucking starts, which is crazy. Like my popcorn's almost done,
Easily.
and like and then like now every movie has like eight production companies attached to it, so it's
I
like
know.
once, two, three, like there's like so many, yeah. But
Yeah, it's just, every movie I saw, it was fucking Wolverine. It was Speak No Evil. It was like the same exact ones. I'm like, God, Jesus Christ. I don't want to see any of these.
another thing about movies too, like I was tapped in. As a teenager, I knew everything that was out. I knew it, everything. Now I go on and I look at showtimes and there's like 18 movies that I've never heard of. like 10 of them are like Bollywood. Like so now they figured out like they have a different
Oh yeah,
audience, you know, like for people that it's like, all right, we're gonna show this. So it's like all these like random ass movies that
the
you've never heard of.
Christian movies.
Yeah.
They'll do a lot of that, like a Christian stuff. But like, well, you know what? Also, though, too, when we were growing up, I mean, a movie could run in the theater for like fucking like 4 months or something, or even longer if it was some like big budget thing. It wasn't turning them over so quick, getting a new
Yeah.
one, and blah blah blah. It's like, you know,
Well, you know, because they probably see like the, you know, the opening, maybe they'll do 2 weeks and then they're like, all right, let's go straight to like, you know, VOD because people aren't showing up for this. I don't know how that works. Maybe there's like a contract. It's like, all right, let's
yeah.
just go in for like a month or something. And then from there, it's like, we'll do like the VODs where people are like, I'll just rent the movie right now, which I like.
Oh, I tell you, it's still it says a lot for like what Terrifier did in the theaters, Terrifier 2 and shit, and got to come back again. And they played it in the theaters. And even when I went to Long Legs, it was a fucking weekday, 450s, fucking packed. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, it made like 50 million so far for Long Legs. And I feel like Terrifier 3 is going to do
Yeah.
good too. So that's October 11th, I think, for Terrifier 3. And
Yes.
I saw the teaser
Very excited
trailer.
for
It
that.
looks fucking great. It looks like it's like Christmas centric.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be cool to have like a new
I'm
like
very curious to see when Damien steps out of that, like what he does, what else he does besides the art the clown universe.
yeah.
Curious.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I'm sure he'll probably like if this does well, which I see it just doing well, I feel like 3 is a good place to leave it at. Even if you go back to a 4 like 2, 3 years later, but it would be nice to see him do like something completely different and see how that where that goes. So
Because you know how over the top he's gonna have to go into part three, like
yeah,
after some of the fucking kills in part two. I mean, like where are you gonna go? I don't
where are you
even
gonna
know
go?
where you
Yeah.
go from here.
Yeah, he'll have to do like a G-rated movie after this. Yeah.
Pixar.
So one thing that I do want to
Yeah,
mention
man.
before we end here, just randomly, I saw
Sure.
a TV
Yeah.
show called Discontinued with Bruce Campbell on
Oh, I
Prime.
saw you post that. I want to see that. That was great.
Yeah, I was just like scrolling through stuff and it came out like November of last year. And Bruce Campbell hosts this thing, and it's just like things that have been discontinued, right? So he'll do like a bit, like he has like these two reporters, and they go out and they do these like bit pieces. He's just the host, and then like one episode has the Talk Boy, then they have Blockbuster, they have Friendster, this Star Wars hotel that fucking went out of business. Basically anything that you liked from the past that got discontinued, he talks about, and it's fucking so
I
entertaining.
love it.
Yeah, it's really good, man. I really
Is
recommend
it
it.
new or is
No, I said it came out last year. So November
oh, okay.
23.
I missed that. All right. Yeah, no, it looked great. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I put that in my queue because the way you described it looked like it was up my alley,
it's just kind of like, you know, it's for old people, I guess.
man.
You know, the shit that you're into. It's like, okay, so
Yeah, I remember that.
all right, man. Listen, this has been
Yeah.
an episode of At the Movies, and
Dun, 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 dun,
that's it.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we did a good bulk, a 4 movie bulk, and that's it. You know, just keep it
I go
going.
on a lot of YouTube binges of old Siskel and Ebert. I love when they did. I love what they reviewed movies every week, but then would get back together once a year to talk about the shittiest movies. They would have an episode about all the movies that they hated and get all catty about it. Love it.
I love that. So I love when they hate a movie. I do. You can go to YouTube and look those up. Like if you've
Yeah.
never anyone listening never did that, it's a lot of fun. Like whenever we would do the tournaments in the Facebook group, instead of posting the trailer, I would just find like a Siskel and Ebert review of like a fucking movie,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, when they were like completely disgusted by every horror movie ever. They're like,
Every horror
this
movie.
movie is just sick. it's just sick. It's just like depraved. It's like, all right, you're gonna come out and you're gonna like kill this woman, and they're all sexist or whatever the fucking like dumb shit they were saying. And every now and then,
The knife is the penis.
yeah, the knife is, yeah, it's like this phallic thing, and it's like, oh my God, it's so good because it's such a great time
They
capsule
were
of,
both pervs, though, man. You put some titties on the screen, they love that shit. You could tell when they were talking about some movies.
yeah,
Jane
one
was
of
a perv.
100%. And it's just it's a lot of fun. You know what I've been doing too? Speaking of going back
Yeah.
to YouTube,
What's that?
this we'll throw this all this stuff on the Patreon. Uh
Yes, of course.
Morton Downey Jr. episodes. You know, once you tap into something on YouTube, they just feed you, right? So like you type something up, I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
Morton Downey Jr. is talking, metal. I'm gonna, talking to the Great Cat or something. All right, I click onto this, and then from there, it's just like a stream of like old like Morton Downey shows, and he's chain smoking every episode, and he's fucking yelling and angry, and he's like, I don't know, it's just fucking really good, man. Like, I never watch a full
I watched
episode.
every episode of that show.
Yeah,
When I was a kid, I watched every one of them. I
I
had all the metal ones on tape. Joey Ramone, Scotty Ian,
yeah,
Ace Frehley, Great Cat, Circus of Power,
the
Cycle Sluts
Great
from
Cat.
Hell. They all did that shit. Johnny Z was on there.
Yeah,
And then the Skinhead ones, of course, yeah, those were classic.
yeah, yeah. I
And the
love it.
Satan ones. They have
Always
the
good, man.
Anton LaVey's daughter. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
our connection's getting a little fucked up again here.
All right. I guess I'll shut up then. Can you hear me?
I got you.
All right, yeah, whatever. I guess
All right.
fuck.
We said it all.
We did. We said it all, and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah.
All right.
Late.